There needs to be better options for everyone who wants that self-improvement, because for him and a lot of these young men and young women, they don't see that they have another better option other than going into the service to have opportunity.
Right. That's a good point. I think in American society, it's not just that. That's an excellent point, but it's not just yearning for self-improvement. In American society, a lot of people feel isolated. They don't have strong family. They don't have community. And if you go into the military, you get a sense of community. In the military, you build strong bonds with people, and they are real bonds. I mean, military training puts you in situations where you live with people and you constantly have to sacrifice for each other. You constantly have to trust these people with your life. You constantly have to cooperate, use teamwork. I mean, you're out there by yourselves in the cold, suffering together, building camaraderie, and you're telling stories about your families, and you're spending more time with these people than your own family, and these bonds are really strong and real. And I think the decline of community in America, the decline of strong family, draws people to the military because you get a sense of family. And
if your grades aren't good enough in school for you to get to college in another way, your family doesn't have money, you don't have a way of seeing another place to go, you don't have the money to learn a trade or to do something else, it's very easy, it's very seductive to say, well, gee, I don't really think I might die or get some horrible neurotoxic disease. I see that I might be able to go to college and get to do this or get to do that.
Right, absolutely. Look at the military recruiting commercials. Army, be all you can be. Air Force, aim high. Navy, accelerate your life. The new Army commercials, Army strong. I mean, the commercials appeal to people's idealism and yearning for self-improvement. But I'm amazed by how much the military and the peace movement have in common. What is the ultimate sin in the military? The ultimate sin? Desertion? Treason? There's an ultimate sin in the military. A lot of people think it's disobedience, right? Disloyalty. Deserting your comrades. Think of Hugh Thompson, the helicopter pilot. Are you all familiar with that story? Raise your hand if you're familiar with Hugh Thompson during the My Lai massacre. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Good choice. One of my personal heroes, and Hugh Thompson spoke at West Point. During the My Lai massacre, American soldiers executed 500 Vietnamese women, children, civilians, and Hugh Thompson was a helicopter pilot, and he was with his machine gunner, Larry Colburn. They saw the carnage. They landed their helicopter, and Hugh Thompson told his helicopter machine gunner, Larry Colburn, he said, I'm going to go and rescue as many Vietnamese civilians as I can, and I'm going to bring them back to the helicopter, and we're going to put them in a safe place. We're going to rescue these Vietnamese people who were being massacred by the Americans. And he told his machine gunner, if the Americans kill me when I'm trying to rescue the Vietnamese, you must open fire at the Americans with a machine gun. You must shoot at them. They are now the enemy. So he rescued as many Vietnamese civilians as he can, brought them to safety, and fortunately he wasn't killed. And now he's honored. He was given the Soldier's Medal, treated like a hero now. But at West Point, he talked about how he was treated after that happened. He was seen as a traitor, disloyal to his comrades. He told his machine gunner to shoot the American soldiers. Disloyal, abandoned his comrades, and being shunned, being outcast does not begin to describe what he went through after that. I mean, he was seen as a traitor, he received death threats, but now West Point brought him there as a hero, so we could all learn from him. And I think the lesson that I got from that was do the right thing, and in 40 or 50 years, people might appreciate it. So it's not betraying your comrades if you're doing the right thing. It's not disobeying an order. If your commander gives you a bad order and you're telling your soldiers to do the right thing. And it's not even cowardice, because everybody in the military understands cowardice. There's a really good quote that says that all men, all people in war are cowards and heroes to varying degrees. But there is an ultimate sin in the military, something that's unforgivable. Have any of you seen the movie Seven Samurai? Great movie. Please watch Seven Samurai. Very good way of examining the warrior archetype. Anyway, there's a scene in the film where 7 samurai are defending a village against bandits. The bandits are also samurai. But 7 noble samurai are defending the village not for honor, not for money, but because it's the right thing to do. And there are a few houses across from a stream. And so the 7 samurai tell the villagers, we have to abandon those houses to protect the group. We have to abandon these houses to protect the group. And there's a point in the film where the villagers living in those outlying houses throw down their spears and say, this is stupid. Why should we fight to protect these people's houses? Let's go and defend our own houses. And the main character, who's a samurai, pulls out his sword, tells them to pick up their spears. They don't. He runs after them, and they pick up their spears and they go back in formation. So why did the main character become so angry? What had they done? What sin had they committed? It wasn't that they refused to fight, because they weren't refusing to fight. They were saying, we're going to fight to protect ourselves, not the group. See, at least that's it. The ultimate sin in the military is selfishness. Selfishness is the ultimate unforgivable sin. Being selfish, being greedy, thinking of your own self-interest above the self-interest of your comrades, your brothers in arms, your family in arms. Being selfish and greedy is the ultimate sin. And then the main character, Samurai, says, this is the nature of war. By protecting others, you protect yourself. If you think only of yourself, you will destroy yourself. I mean, that's something the peace movement agrees with, right? Greed, selfishness is the ultimate sin. The military feels the same way. And Akira Kurosawa, who made that film, was a strong anti-war advocate. Akira Kurosawa, one of the most brilliant filmmakers of all time, he made many anti-war films. He made a film, the first film he made after the end of World War II was a film about the Japanese student uprising protesting the Japanese invasion of Manchuria. And he made many, many strong anti-war films. He hated war. But he said that the highest ideals of the samurai are also the highest ideals of humanity. Selflessness, sacrifice, cooperation, teamwork, courage, protecting the weak, challenging the powerful, struggling not for personal glory, but for the common good. All these things are the highest ideals of the human race, and you can see in the people who are truly samurai. And that's why George Lucas based Star Wars off 7 Samurai and Hidden Fortress. If you look at the Jedi from Star Wars, they're based off the samurai from 7 Samurai. Very noble. They're basically Buddhist monks with lightsabers. And they are. I mean, look at their ideals. So I think the peace movement and the military have so much in common, and they could do a lot together if they realize that. Yes?
This is kind of a follow-up on what you were just saying. You said earlier that you think that mankind is inherently non-violent and peaceful, and that we've had to learn to be violent. Do you feel that we are inherently generous and selfless, or that we're inherently greedy and selfish?
We're absolutely inherently selfless. If you look at the fact that the greatest problem of every army is, how do you stop soldiers from running away? I've heard people say, well, all that proves is that we're naturally selfish. We don't want to die in combat. But look at the most effective way to make people fight. The most effective way to make people fight is for them to believe that their loved one is in danger. If you believe your loved one is in danger, you will fight to the death. So we're naturally selfless, we're naturally loving. Look at the military. The military has to build these bonds of love and selflessness to function. And it's actually very ironic. It's a paradox. Unconditional love makes war possible. If you did not have unconditional love, people would just run away. But organized warfare is made possible by unconditional love, building those bonds of love, telling people, your family's threatened, your loved ones are threatened. If we don't go to war, your family will die. If you don't fight, your comrades, the people who have become your family, are going to perish.